Hello everyone, welcome to Biblical Prepping. I'm Judith Garten and this is the prepper portion, and I'm here today to finally do a demonstration on my weightlifting machine. I mean my tortilla press, of course. I've been joking with people about it. It is heavy. I still haven't weighed it. I really need to, but I tried to put it on my scale, my kitchen scale, and I don't know if it's just too big around or what, but all it did was error. So that tells you it's heavy. So we're going to try and give it a shot using it today. Now I have to say, I have had some people ask me, why would you bother getting a tortilla press? Why don't you just buy tortillas? True, very easy and simple. However, I've noticed a lot of the tortillas around us are starting to contain ingredients I don't want. So I've seen some that contain, the cellulose, which is wood pulp and things like that, that contain aluminum when they use baking powder. I don't want those things. I just want a tortilla. So I had been looking for a while for a tortilla press, and I'd looked at 8-inch ones, and I am so grateful that I got a 10-inch, because I tell you what, it doesn't always press out to 10 inches. However, it does press nicely, and we always get a good sized tortilla from it. I have done flour tortillas, I have done corn tortillas, and I have done flatbreads, I have done pitas, I have done pizza dough with this, believe it or not, for a thin crust pizza. And I'm going to try and think of other things over the next, I don't know how long, different things I can make with this. Now, the corn tortillas and flour tortillas that you can make with this, you can actually make baked chips, or you can fry them. I have done the fried corn chips, and Jim's compliment to me, which was very much appreciated, was they taste better than the store. So they taste better than the ones you get at the store. I'm on a roll. I really like that fact that they were crispy, they were nice, they were delicious. I do need to build the muscles a little bit more with this weightlifting machine so that I can get it to press thinner, because I'm not very good at getting it to press thin. I do also appreciate that this model, which is called I always forget the name, it came with rounds. I have tried parchment paper and it's very rectangular. Doesn't work well. Now, if I'm making a small flatbread, I will use the rectangular ones, cut them in half, and just slide that in here and have a half for the top, and I'll use that to make like small pitas or flatbreads, things like that. But for tortillas, I will use the round because they are absolutely perfect. So that's what we're going to get started with today. Now, I had countless recipes and printed up for various types of tortillas. But I have found 2 recipes that I absolutely love. I've tried them both and they're very simple. Now, the first one is from my friend Cheryl on Facebook. She does this sourdough flour tortilla recipe, which is 3.5 cups of all-purpose flour, 2 teaspoons salt, 1/2 cup butter, 1 cup milk, 1 cup sourdough starter. Now this one does need to let stand at room temperature 8 to 12 hours, and then you make the tortillas. So this is one you would want to mix up the night before. Don't forget, or early in the morning if you want them fresh for dinner. So that's something that you have to remember. This one is a little bit more long term, but sometimes that's how sourdough is. I'm not going to be making that one today. I am going to be making this one from inspiredtaste.net, and I will put the link to that down below. I will also put on biblicalprepping.com a PDF version of the sourdough tortilla recipe, and that one will be available in the blog section. I'll write a little bit of an article, and the PDF will be at the bottom of the blog. So for this tortilla recipe, it's very simple. You need 1 cup of masa harina, which is the cornmeal that is the standard to be used for making things like tamales. You need 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon of fine sea salt and 1 cup of warm water. Now, can you leave out the sea salt? Yes, it is optional. I will say that I left it out of the second batch of tortillas and they did not have as nice a flavor as with using a little bit of the salt. So I'm going to just use about 1/4 teaspoon. Now I have 1 cup of water measured here. I'm just going to warm this up really quick on the burner. And as you can see behind me, I have a couple things going on. I've got bone broth in that big pot using the turkey carcass from Thanksgiving, and I'm going to be canning that later this afternoon, pressure canning that for the pantry. And I also have our cast iron griddle. This one is 2-sided. It has a flat side here and it has a grill side. The grill side is not seasoned right now. It is a little bit rusty, but I'm using the flat griddle side, so we're gonna go with that. I have it over 2 burners. I have a small burner in the back and a large in the front. Now the large one of course heats faster and heats more, so I have that only set to 3 for right now because I don't want it to get too hot. And it is seasoned with avocado oil, so I'm praying we won't see any smoking. On the back burner I have it set to about 3.5. Now it was up to 4 because that's going to take a little bit longer to heat up, and I want to make sure that I've got this definitely fully heated to take care of the tortillas after I press them. I will press one at a time, flop it over there, and we will go from there. So here we go. This is our pink Himalayan sea salt. It is extra fine. That's about 1/4 teaspoon. I hear the wind going on outside, so we've got another one of those days like last week where the wind is howling through the hollers. All right, here we go. You just mix this up until it is a good consistent dough. Now this is going to be a soft dough at first, and you need to allow the masa to rehydrate nicely. So you may need to keep mixing it for a bit. You want to make sure there are no dry patches throughout. You also want a damp towel handy. Warm damp towel, because you're going to want to keep the dough balls covered so that they don't dry out too much. You want to separate the dough into about 8 equal pieces. I might go a little bit, maybe to 10. We'll see how that turns out. If I'm not careful, I won't even get 8 out of this. Made that one a little bit too big. You want a dough consistency about that of Play-Doh. Mine might actually be a little bit too soft. We'll see when we cook it up. This is actually only the 3rd time I've made the corn tortillas. I thought it was the 2nd, but it is actually the 3rd because I did make 2 batches when we needed them earlier in the month. Now we've got our 8. Put a little bit of flour on there. Put our dough. A little more flour. And then you just press. I'm thinking my dough's a little too soft, so this is going to be interesting. Especially trying to get this back off. Oh no, it worked. There we go. Hey, that worked perfectly. Now what you're going to do is you're going to take this over and just flip it onto your hot griddle. Yeah, there's a little bit too much water in this particular tortilla. It's not coming off of the paper as easily. So we're going to let it cook a little bit and see if we can get it back off the paper. I will be back in a bit. So that first tortilla did not want to come off of the parchment paper until it was well cooked. However, that gave me time to take the dough and I added in a little bit more masa. It was about 1/4 cup. And now we've got more the consistency of Play-Doh. So we're going to give this a try again. The nice thing about the cast iron is the lid is so heavy, or the one side is so heavy, it often presses a good part of it out. You don't have to put a lot of effort into it. Just a quick press and you have your tortilla. Now I have learned over the time that one of the easy ways to pull the parchment off is to peel it back gently. This one has stuck again to the parchment, so we're going to see what we can do if we can get it off the other side. Don't mind that little paper. That was my list of things to do today. Oh, It's not cooperating. There we go. Most of it came off. We'll just add that little bit of dough to my other tortilla there. And throw another one on the griddle. Now I'm just going to videotape the rest of this process. We're going to grab a couple of new sheets of parchment and keep going. So there you go. That's half of the tortillas done. I'm going to go ahead and finish this on my own, and then we're going to have brunch. So as you can tell, I'm no expert in tortillas. However, I am learning how to make them on my own. If you have any pointers and you would like to share with me, I would love to hear them down in the comments. Please let me know. And in the meantime, we're going to go enjoy our breakfast and save these for dinner tonight. Blessings and shalom.